Good morning. It's morning still here in Texas. Good morning. Thank you for joining in on this podcast challenge that I'm launching today, day one. And before I'm gonna spend a little bit. This will probably be the longest of the challenge, the longest stream of the challenge. It may go an hour, it may go 45 minutes. I'm gonna go over a little bit about my background, why I'm coming, bringing this podcast to you, why I'm doing that, a little bit about why podcast, why do it, why go through all this, the titles, the artwork, finding your audience, why do it all. I'm gonna go to start with the introduction on this today, and then tackle the day one challenge. But first, a little about me. We're gonna go full screen here. Just a second here. And if I can bring me in the corner there. There I am in the corner. So you can always keep unseeing me. And let's go to my things that I do. First of all, I've been in the business of audio visual digital web since 2010. In June of 2010, I started working. I'm wearing right here the Fox Sports regions. Recently turned to Bally Sports. If you're familiar with those and any of those regions, that's where I'm coming from. I've been in the digital audio video web space. I'm a video editor, podcast editor, and showing you. Got a little Need some water with me here. Got a little frog. It always happens when I start recording, but we're gonna press on. But a little about me. About This may need to be updated, but we'll just go through a little about me since 2010. Has learned a lot of things. I could never. This is written in the third person. Could never be learned in school. He's learned how to video is being transmitted via satellite and via the internet. Also learned to really love the art of video editing and what it takes to effectively uh, schedule broadcast production events in all aspects of video transmission world. Can say firsthand there's a lot of moving parts, and all my years that's what I learned. Accomplished seasoned professional, 11 years solid experience in the digital television production on the web, sports broadcasting industry, proved talent in production of visual storytelling, worked closely with executives, senior staff. I'm just reading what I wrote here. Analyze network needs, and you can go on and see this anytime. About.me/Thomas Kenyon, my link tree, a link to all my podcasts, what I'm doing. I'm talking with everyone in the film world, and I'll take you to my Spotify here. That's fine. I'll just keep it in the browser. That's my show, and we're gonna go over titles, and that's what I do. I talk with digital creators, filmmakers, anyone who's creating anything in the digital world. And back to I have YouTube where I create how to do stuff as well, how to live. That's not what I wanted. Going live. Gotta backtrack here. That's one of my guests, by the way. And I create videos on my YouTube about how to do stuff. I am unmuted, right? Make sure I can see comments. To improve communication, to how I talk about stuff I've done with Toastmasters, keeping phone clear, spyware. There's some of my guests here as well that I upload. This is this is my content that you can always take a look at my Linktree event. It's in my Instagrams. T. Michael Kenyon and the Real Sweet Tea. You can see that link here if you're ever interested in seeing more about what I do. And let's clear all these out and let's go on what makes a good podcast. We touched on my introduction. I'm gonna take this a little smaller here so you can see me. What makes a good podcast? And you can see from iHeart.com, discover the top podcasts, and you can see Crime Junkie, Dateline, MLK Tapes. We're in February Black History Month. Bob Saget, rest in peace, Bob Saget. His podcast is one of the top podcasts. Rest in peace. That was a sad day when I heard about that. Stuff you should know. That sounds like a good one. Morbid. All these top podcasts, according to iHeart, The Breakfast Club. That was a good movie. All these podcasts that's listed on iHeart. Joel Osteen, The Herd. I like listening to The Herd. And more about what I like to listen to as well. And as we start to think about the titles, Something Was Wrong, True Crime Podcast. Any of you like the crime? Nancy Grace, for all those on the HLN network when she was, especially when I remember specifically the Nancy Grace news shows with the Casey Anthony, that was always on. The Donut Shop Murders. That sounds like a parody, but it could be real. Yeah, it could be interesting. Look at these donuts. Conan O'Brien needs a friend. Sounds like a guilt trip victim thing, if you ask me about that. But I press on. Crazy in love. Anyone in love? Anyone in love with? Then hello. You're showing up as Facebook user, but hi. Thank you for coming and joining on. Coast to Coast, best with George Noory. All these top podcasts according to iHeart.com. Let me go over to my top, and yes, I'm bringing up the GOAT of podcasting. Started like when podcasting wasn't a thing, and you just, where was like him and his buddy was just in his garage, fired up on Ustream.com of all platforms, and they just went for, and it was it was a really long episode, and it's still available. You can, if I can like see it, it's still his show is still available. That the first episode is still available if you want to go back all the way to the beginning and watch. It's, and they were just, and that's today. He stays consistent on. He talks with many people and just stays curious, and that's the thing. Podcasting, it's all about being curious. It's all about just starting and having the conversation. And he's not that big on titling. It's just like an episode number and the guest, which simple. Another thing to keep in mind, if you want to keep it simple, that there's a lot of podcast titles with that, by the way. Mine is keeping it real, real being a film reel kind of thing in the film world. So I tie mine to film, but he keeps it simple. He talks with guests. He stays and he's curious while asking people questions about things. And he's coming off these days in these last 2 years talking with the medical and science community, and he's highly, highly controversial. But I'll show you a few other things around my Spotify screen here. These are my podcasts that I am subscribed to over on Spotify. And a few of them, few friends, few for the news. Like, one good one. and there's a few of my friends I'm subscribed to. Again, these are all conversations. They're talking with their friends. And it's not necessarily you listen and it's about fact finding, but it's you have to dig through the BS sometimes, a lot of time, to get to true and accurate facts. And this is what conversations do. You discuss, you disagree, you agree, and you have a conversation. That's what a conversation is. And that's what is being done on podcasting. What got me into podcasting and listening back in 2016, I heard this. My mom was like listening to story time a little bit. My mom was listening to Ellen. She loves Ellen. Like she's in her final season this year. And this guy Lewis Howes was a guest on that show, and she was watching. And after watching, she called me up one day and said, "You looking for content to listen to?" And this guy he went on LinkedIn for this is how she explained it to me. He This guy went on LinkedIn for 6 hours and can just and did something on LinkedIn, whatever. I know more of what he does now. He still does it today. He goes on LinkedIn and he just connects with people on LinkedIn over there. And he's like, "You might want to check out this podcast. There's a lot of stuff you can listen to." And I didn't know much about like what was out there yet. Now I know there's tons and tons of podcasts out there. So yeah, it's competition, but share with your friends. Like you start up your podcast, share your link with your friends. You want to, and this hint for future days, share with your friends, join the discussion, listen in. That's all a part of this. To be a part of the conversation. That's why you do this. That's why we do this. Gotta get in the habit of looking at the camera, by the way. But that's if you do a video podcast. If you do audio, no camera up there to look at. But like this, a little about the why I got me so much into podcasts is this is the School of Greatness, as you see. Title again, hint title, as day one is. This is all about titling, and he comes in, and let me read the description that he has up here. New York Times bestseller, all American athlete. He's athlete turned lifestyle entrepreneur. The School of Greatness shares inspiring interviews from the most successful people on the planet, world renowned leaders in business, entertainment, sports, science, health, literature, to inspire you to unlock your inner greatness and live your best life. And what I like when I talk about it is he talks about everything that should be learned in schools that isn't. What he wishes that he would have got out of school, he does. He goes out and does that on his show, on his podcast. And that's what you need to find. What's missing of your life that could have helped you 10, 20 years ago when you're doing that thing you were doing? Go out and do that. What's missing? What were you looking for back then? What can you create for people and what's missing, and go out and create that and and commit to one a week at least or something like that of a conversation. Press record, whether you're on camera, whether you're recording. My phone's charging on my counter, but whether you're eh, press record and just start talking and package your content in a way that you wish you would have had available to you 10, 20 years ago. So that's School of Greatness. Talked about Joe Rogan, the podcasting goat, if you may. But Spotify is one top, as Joe Rogan is only available on on Spotify. Here's me on Spotify again. Some of my friends, Vibing with Vic, a good meditation podcast. She just started up about a month ago, and she's already taken off like crazy. She does. Looks like. Let's see if I can. A bunch in December. Does she do every day? Maybe every other day. Looks like it doesn't look like every. There's a bunch December. Every day. A good thing. That's why you have a little about. You have an intro. You can have a trailer up here, and I'll get you started at recording all these in this week, in this 5-day week. And I want to show you one other. My good buddy friend, he hosts the My Stuttering Life podcast, and here he is right here. He is on fire, popping up with many different guests. I'm actually helping him edit one right now that after I record this today, I'm going to go look at later on and help him out with a little audio issue he's been having. But I've been helping him out. He talks with stutterers. If you're a world, this is something that a lot of people don't like to talk about because whether they don't feel they can communicate that well because of their stutter, and believe it or not, I have a stutter too. It shows up in more up here in my thought clogness, but anyway, it's a conversation that's actually not talked about as much, and he has this to just was missing from his life. He created it, and he brings the stuttering world into the conversation on podcasting. And this is what it's all about: connecting, growing community. One of these is my episode as well. He actually interviewed me too. One of these. But yeah, I just had to throw that plug in there for My Stuttering Life because he's doing great things with the stuttering world. Podcasting. So what else do I have here? As uh, we talked about the top podcasts, top. So let's get right into titling, and I'm doing everything like put some music up here, like that. Throw it up. There you go. And banners. A1 titles. So, and I'm using music as a transition here. I'll bring it down a little bit. So let's go back and look at these titles. If anyone's watching live, live, hashtag replay, tell me a title that comes to mind. What are you thinking of as your title? What do you want to talk about, and what's a catchy show like The Woody Show or You Missed in History Class? That sounds like another School of Greatness title, by the way. Some, if it's just your name, The Mark Billings Show, there's a lot of that. Wine Down. I imagine she talks about wine and alcohol, but it's WHINE, so wine, like calm down. That's another calm down podcast. The Ramsey Show, again, a name. Unshamed. The Dan Patrick Show, another big sports guy. Actually, I'm not following that yet. I need to. I like Dan Patrick. So again, big name. all your top news personalities in the deep stories that shape us. Just going over these titles again. Thank you, Tabitha, for joining in. The Real Healing and Change Agents Network. The real. Oh, so you have two titles, Tabitha. Thank you for the contribution. The Real Healing or Change Agents. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyone else, if you have any, let's look at, just keep an eye, debating which to use. That's fine. Healing, change agents, that's fine. I like them both. Yeah. The Real Healing or Change Agents Network. Tabitha, thank you. Anyone else watching? Drop it in. #live, #replay. Just going over a few more to stew the ideas up. War of Roses. War is a powerful word. War is maybe a negative connotation, but War of the Roses. War is negative. Roses is positive. So it's maybe a play on those words, and a little of both is happening there. Again, I'm going off the iHeart.com top 100 podcasts. Paul Allen, I remember him from up in Minnesota. Oh yeah, K-Fan. Yep, that's him. He was. I helped actually. They were streaming on our websites back then with Paul Allen, and I forget what it wasn't the Paul Allen show, but he did a show on K-Fan with the North, Fox Sports North, Bally Sports North region, and we streamed it for them up there. The show P1 Podcast, the Dave Ryan Show. Again, names Steve. Names, a lot of names. Undisputed, big show on FS1. They have their podcast. Colin Cowherd, I like, but so yeah. Again, #replay. Schwartz by name. I'm reading comments here, so excuse the pause here. I had a podcast Schwartz by name of Change Agents Network before podcasts were cool. Oh, so you started. Were you like Joe Rogan? you started before podcasts became a thing. So you probably know a little bit even more about me. I could probably learn a few things from you. Back when we used meetup.com before Facebook was big. Yeah, I remember having a film club back on meetup.com. Think of reviving it and bringing it to modern day. And now Meetup changed their policies, and that's all right. You're still the OG, one of the OGs. Even if you stopped and then restarting, that's okay. I'm not here to beat up on anyone. No self beat up. But that this is all about inspiring titles. What is there anything else that you were looking at? Like, I know you had the two titles. You're still deciding. How can I support you in deciding, maybe picking one? How can I support you? Let me know that. Again, #live, #replay if you're watching this right now live with me, or if you're watching the replay in the group, because this is going to be available after I stop this live. So #live, #replay. And just inspire titles. This is how, when you go do a search on google.com and you're going to search podcast TV studio or TV What's let's let's actually take the real healing when people search for something like that, or why does faith healing work, or this is what actually people are typing in Google. The real faith for healing, a real healing crystals. What is faith-based healing? Or I'm gonna go the other one. Change Agents Network. Change agents. Definition. There's a change agent definition. Synonym healthcare. There you go. Synonym. Look up synonyms from another word for change. Maybe it's something else. Maybe that you haven't thought of yet. Change allegiances, change around, change back, change belief, change channels, change address, change about, changeably, changeable person, changeableness, changeable. That if that is any help. Transformer, these are good words too. New broom, visionary, trendsetter, modernizer, new broom. I said that already. Innovator, innovate, radical. What something? I'm a game changer. A game changer. I always liked hearing that when I was inspired. I'd hear, "You're a game changer." My work is trauma and emotional healing. That is missing is coaching or therapy or medicine. I want to rant on all that is wrong with the industry. We'll have half interviews and half just me. That is so needed in this world today where medical community is being silenced, Tabitha. Thank you for that, and thank you for just thinking of it, and you'll find it, and you're gonna start, and anything I can do to support you're launching this up and starting this conversation up and sharing this out in the world. Let me know how I can support anything with and I can keeping that in mind and do. It's all about starting with the research. Right? You talk about therapy. My spelling is off. Therapy. Mind cities, where you're at in cities too. I'm in the Dallas area, so I'm showing up Dallas cities. Therapy near me. If you're looking for therapy, medicine. Cody Cross. I guess that's a name in the medicine therapy world. Hormone therapy, gene therapy, supportive therapy, therapy, massage therapy. So, well, and this is what people are typing in too. So you're to keep in mind when you're putting this on YouTube, or your tags, your keywords, your this is your tags and keywords. This is what people are typing in when you're doing your research, right? So let me look up your trauma. There's a lot of trauma happening right now. I don't need to tell you that. Traumatic trauma, traumatized people, traumatized, trauma dumping surgeon therapy, trauma movie. We need more trauma for movies right now, right? Trauma bonding. And this is how the niche would be: trauma informed therapy. And I'm just walking through. Maybe Tabitha's done this research a little bit. but I'm just walking through how you research using search engines. I already forgot the buzzword now, but trauma informed therapy. Techniques, training, certification, modalities, approaches, worksheet, books on trauma informed therapy for adults. This is what people are searching for. This is what you're listening to people. This is how you go about doing research to start your title, to start your podcast. So buzzwords. You heard of Google AdWords? That's way bigger now. Gary Vaynerchuk, what 10, 20 years ago, he took up the word in Google for wine, and now he owns that all over on Google. And every time you just search wine on Google, well, I don't know how exactly that works, but like maybe I just have to do that. Wine library, wine club, wine business, wine text. He's associated with the word wine. Going back to the School of Greatness, see what comes up when I just type greatness. Lewis Howes seems like he would be associated with the word greatness. Greatness coaching strategy, greatness coaching. That's what he just started up, the Greatness Academy, which I was technically in. They changed the naming of that. It was the Inner Circle, and now it's Greatness Academy. Greatness Mastermind, he just closed down to start the academy and the greatness coaching. But he's all about making people great. And yeah, love Gary. He is I can be more like him with his energy. I'm actually this is the most energy I've showed yet on any videos. I'm doing better and I'm improving. But I can take some of his energy and take that onto what I do a lot more. But anything else that I can support, and even if I end this live here, write in the comments, tag me. You can find me anything I can support. You know where to find me. T Michael Kenyon and at the Real Sweet Tea on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find me in any of those places. I'm actually most on Instagram. That I'll respond the best on either of those platforms on Instagram. To meet T Michael Kenyon, and let me put that up in a banner at hold on 1 second, or Real Sweet Tea. And then you can find any these mentions for me, T Michael Kenyon, or the Real Sweet Tea, right on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. And I think that's about it. If anything else I can support for you live. If not, if you watch this replay, hashtag live or replay. Let me know how you're watching. Let me know what you got out of it. Let me know today. This day one challenge is all about your title. And let me know what else. I'll come on do another video, another ad hoc video all about titles today. This is what this group is for. Let me know. Let me know titles. Comment your title with hashtag live or replay, and we will start to inspire and create your show. Day 2 is coming up same time tomorrow. Stick around in this group. Hit that join group. This is a public group. Anyone can see it. Join as a member. You'll see all of the next. I set up all the next 4 days ready to go. 10:30 a.m. Central, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Until then, this has been day 1 titles, and I will see you tomorrow right here in the podcast challenge, 10:30 a.m. Central. Until then,